Welcome, listeners, to episode 435 of AI Brief. I'm Aneen.
And I am Leah.
Today we are diving into what has frankly been a historic week. We will be covering a massive military contract pivot,
Along with those record-breaking venture capital numbers.
plus the new model drops aiming to fix AI personalities, and a roundup of trending tools you can use right now. Let's get straight into today's new updates.
We have to start with the biggest story dominating the market right now, which is OpenAI's Pentagon deal.
The timeline on this it is whiplash-inducing. So the Pentagon officially bans OpenAI's rival Anthropic from use.
Then within 24 hours of that ban, OpenAI swoops in and finalizes their original agreement.
But the wild part is the contract itself. They use the exact same language that Anthropic had just refused to agree to.
Which, from a purely business strategy perspective, immediately invited a massive PR crisis.
The blowback was immediate. We saw physical protest outside OpenAI's San Francisco headquarters and a massive wave of user cancellations.
App uninstalls spiked by 295% in just a few days. And those fleeing users surged straight over to Anthropic.
So they essentially handed their biggest competitor a golden acquisition opportunity. How did leadership actually respond to that kind of a drop?
CEO Sam Altman was visibly on the defensive. On X, he called the Rush deal opportunistic and sloppy. He even went so far as to publicly state he would rather go to jail than follow an unconstitutional order.
That is some intense rhetoric for a contract dispute.
It is highly unusual. In a Tuesday all-hands meeting, he openly told employees the agreement was complex, but the right decision, with extremely difficult brand consequences.
And strictly looking at the market impact, here they are doing major damage control. Research scientist Noam Brown had to clarify that they will not be deploying to the NSA or other intelligence agencies for now while they address loopholes.
What is fascinating about this entire defense contract landscape, though, is that Anthropic is not entirely opposed to the sector either. Before they were barred from Department of Defense work, they actually submitted a proposal for a $100 million Pentagon drone swarm challenge.
Wait, they were actively bidding for military drone contracts before this whole ban happened.
Precisely. They lost out to rival firms, but it shows that securing these massive government contracts is a core survival tactic across the board.
Which perfectly segues into the sheer volume of money flowing into the space. February saw a record $189 billion in global venture capital funding.
That is a 780% increase over February of last year. But the aggregate number hides the real story.
Because 83% of that money went to just 3 companies: OpenAI, Anthropic, and Waymo.
We are seeing a complete hollowing out of the middle market. OpenAI alone closed a $110 billion round backed by SoftBank, NVIDIA, and Amazon.
That single round would have set a monthly VC record by itself. But there is a massive disconnect happening because, while the private market is throwing billions at these companies, the public stock market is bleeding.
Public software stocks shed roughly $1 trillion in value in early February.
$1 trillion wiped out. What triggered that specific drop?
The market data points directly to a wave of new product releases from Anthropic. Wall Street saw the capabilities and panicked that AI was going to replace the traditional software-as-a-service industry entirely.
So investors just hit the panic button on their legacy software portfolios.
Exactly. The bleeding only stopped when Anthropic announced key partnerships with established tech giants, signaling they want to integrate rather than just completely replace the old guard.
And these two financial worlds are about to collide because both OpenAI and Anthropic are exploring IPOs this year. They're going to have to publicly justify these sky-high valuations.
That transition to the public markets will certainly require them to prove a sustainable business model. Moving on to everything else in AI today, we are taking a slightly broader look at the technology itself.
We have to examine what these companies are releasing right now to justify those numbers. OpenAI just rolled out GPT 5.3 Instant. The core focus of this release is a complete overhaul of the model's default personality.
They are specifically aiming to fix what has been widely described as a preachy tone. The new model deliberately prioritizes conversational quality over unnecessary refusals.
It is worth noting that Anthropic recently ran Super Bowl ads that actively poked fun at ChatGPT's personality. That clearly struck a nerve and likely forced OpenAI to accelerate this exact update.
It certainly appears to be a direct response. However, the update does bring substantial technical improvements as well. They are reporting a 25% reduction in hallucinations on web search and a nearly 20% reduction on internal knowledge benchmarks.
They also dropped an Easter egg on X stating 5.4 sooner than you think with a capital T. But fixing a personality might not solve the deeper structural challenges they face regarding talent retention.
The human element behind these models is currently experiencing significant volatility. Max Schwartzer, who was OpenAI's VP of Research, just announced his departure to join Anthropic, explicitly stating he wants to support his friends there.
That highlights how tightly knit the top tier of AI talent truly is. And this volatility extends globally. At Alibaba, the Quinn team just saw a massive wave of departures featuring a coordinated message stating Quinn is nothing without its people.
Retaining top engineering talent is clearly proving to be just as critical as securing compute power. Speaking of compute efficiency, we should also examine Google's latest strategic move with Gemini 3.1 Flash-Lite.
This is the fastest model in their Gemini 3 lineup targeting high-volume developer workloads. It costs roughly one-fourth of Anthropic's Haiku model and one-eighth of Google's own 3.1 Pro.
Even though the output pricing did triple compared to the older 2.5 version, it remains highly aggressive for the current market. It also achieved a notable 12-point jump on the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index.
And it is beating some of the larger prior generation models on reasoning tasks. Just to round out the technical updates, xAI has also released Beta 2 of Grok 4.2, which features improved instruction following.
The pace of iteration across all these competing models continues to accelerate.
It really does. Let's transition to today's trending AI tools and look at how you can actually use these advancements to boost your productivity. The most mind-bending milestone this week comes from Cursor.
Michael Truell, the CEO of Cursor, confirmed that their AI agent autonomously solved an open math research problem. It ran continuously for 4 days and produced stronger results than the official human solution.
4 days of autonomous complex problem solving. We are no longer talking about simple code autocomplete. Let's run through some other trending tools you should check out this week. First up is Tabit.
Tabit is an AI-native browser featuring context-aware chat and intelligent tab organization. It essentially automates away your repetitive browser tasks and digital clutter.
Then there's Renamer. This tool uses AI to actually analyze the content inside your digital files and automatically organizes them based on what they are rather than whatever random text you named them before saving.
For video workflows, there is Ava. You can feed it your raw video footage and use simple text prompts to edit it into polished, ready-to-publish content. The AI handles the entire timeline editing process.
We also have Fabricate, which is built to turn your raw conversational ideas directly into production-ready applications. The barrier to entry for app creation is essentially vanishing overnight.
And finally, Notebook-LM received a powerful update featuring custom styles for infographics. You can feed it dense, complex information, and it will automatically synthesize it into clean, stylized visuals.
That brings us to the end of our deep dive. When you look at the big picture, we are in a moment where a single company can finalize a massive military deal, face an employee mutiny, suffer a massive uninstall spike, and raise $110 billion all in the same week.
And as we conclude, there is a larger question to consider. With AI agents now capable of autonomously solving open math research problems over a 4-day span, how will the market value these companies when they finally IPO and open their books?
Will their trillion-dollar valuations be judged on the legacy software they are replacing today, or the human cognitive labor they might replace tomorrow?
That is the critical dynamic we will be watching as this commercial consolidation phase continues.
Please make sure to follow and share the podcast if you found this deep dive helpful.
See you in the next episode.